Welcome, guests. Here at No Vacancy, before we start, we just wanted to thank all of our new guests that decided to stay with us by subscribing. It really helps us out, and we appreciate you. So if you don't mind, just take a second to like and leave a comment. It would greatly be appreciated. So let's just get into it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your stay in room 66. I have been camping, solo backpacking, and hunting my whole life in Oregon, and felt comfortable in the woods and have a deep respect for nature. A few years ago, my wife, daughter, and 2 German Shepherds went camping north of Mount Jefferson, Oregon. I've included the coordinates for our campsite, which we found to be the perfect setup for us and our 2 dogs, who needed the privacy since they're intimidating to other dog owners and can be loud when spooked. It was not an established campsite, just a nice horseshoe off the USFS that had flat ground, full trees, and a fire pit. The first night, my daughter wanted to sleep by herself in a 2-man tent right next to ours. It was maybe 2 feet away from me and my wife's tent. We made the male German Shepherd sleep, Guts is his name, with her in the tent. The whole first night, neither my wife or I could sleep. We both heard footsteps, and they were heavy, not like typical forest creatures scampering around the night. I was well armed because I was paranoid from reading recently before departing about a dad in California who was shot and killed in a tent next to his 2 infant daughters. Needless to say, both my wife and I had 2 pistols and my rifle with me. The dogs are great at detection, and that's why I felt my daughter could sleep alone, because Guts is completely fearless and nothing would lay a hand on her without a battle to the death. All in all, nothing but bad vibes and loud footsteps occurred that night, which I ultimately decided was a deer or maybe some elk. In the morning, we go for a walk down the road, and maybe 300 feet away, we see the circle area in the photo. I see an abandoned road where a rusted gate post, the gate was missing, was covered in vegetation. Something of blue color caught my eye, and Guts immediately takes off running down this abandoned road. My heart begins to race because I think it's another family camping like us, and he's going to get himself shot or scare some innocent people to death. So I chased after him as fast as I could, and the rest follow. He stops after 20 feet into the road and me yelling his name, but I have covered just enough distance to see that there is nobody there and something's off about the sight. I yell, "Hello? Is anyone there? I'm sorry about the dog." I got no response. My curiosity got the best of me, and I have to see what the sight conditions were. As I get closer, I notice something wrong. It had all the necessities for a campsite, including a cooler, a propane burner, tent, blankets, folding table, but every single item had been completely destroyed, smashed and torn from what had appeared to be claw marks. We all walked around in circles, puzzled to why anyone would leave all their camping gear behind, including an expensive REI tent. I figured, well, someone left in a hurry and animals got to the rest, as its only logical explanation. Still, a propane tank and a cooler were flattened by something, and it certainly wasn't a snowpack with the trees coverage in that spot. As the afternoon rolls in, me and my daughter are playing ball at the campsite, and my wife goes walking maybe 70 feet north to do her business. I didn't have a direct line of sight on her, but all of a sudden, I can see Guts make a mad dash straight towards her. Normally, he would always be with me unless he's called over, and she didn't call for him. His speed and focus caught my attention, and I knew something weird was happening. So I ran over there, and my wife starts jogging at me, and I immediately draw my pistol. Guts has continued running into the forest another 100 feet before I call him, and he stopped. My other dog, Leah, who never misses the opportunity to be the pack leader, is not taking point. I've had her for 7 years now, and this was the first time in her life she refused to leave my daughter's side. She was full, hair raised, and attached to us at the hip. Again, anytime we hike or play, Leah is up front, bossing everything in her path, and pauses to look to see where we are, and continues. I asked my wife what happened, and she said, "I was trying to pee, and all of a sudden, I felt all the hairs raise up on my back. I know someone was watching me. And then I saw Guts running towards me, and I got up to move towards you." We spent 10 minutes looking for signs of anything and saw no trails. Broken branches, nothing to point that there was something there. We decided we're spending one more night since it's too late to pack up and drive, but we will all be in one big tent together. Before we go to bed, I put a rope with a makeshift coin alarm around the perimeter of our campsite. I used a mint can and some coins and keys from our truck and zip-tied it so anything that hit the rope gave a little jingle. Very unsophisticated, but it put my wife at ease. As I go to tie the last corner off the tree near our tent, our third mystery item unveils itself. It looks like someone has done the exact same thing I have done with a rope that was so old and brown I didn't see it at first. It was broken and only a few pieces remained, but sure enough, it was tied at roughly the same height, 8 to 10 inches off the ground, and even had a few rusted washers on it. I immediately felt someone had stayed here before and put the same makeshift warning system on the same tree maybe 10-15 years ago based on the condition of the rope. Perhaps my paranoia has now reached a new height, but I had to make sure the girls felt safe, and at the time, the only thing I could think of was when the evening came around, I made them sit in the truck, and I fired a clip of my .45 into the dirt as a signal to whatever was out there that we are armed. I reassured the girls that anybody listening to that now knows that we have 2 wolves and are armed. We are too risky of a target, so we can sleep safely. That night, we heard no footsteps, and the dogs never perked up and barked. We left early in the morning. Fast forward to today, and I watched the Amazon Missing 411 Hunted documentary, and I noticed the cluster smack dab close to where we camped, and a flood of dread rushes me as I think of that mysterious abandoned campsite with the ripped tent and the smashed cooler and cooktop. We've been camping since and have enjoyed the beauty of the Northwest, but there was something there at that place that possibly took or harmed somebody else, less than 300 feet from where we camped. And we thank our lucky stars that Guts was doing his thing so well that afternoon. Thanks, guests, for your stay here at No Vacancy in room 66. Remember to leave your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe.